Welcome back to the Butler Beat. For the Butler basketball team, this weekend will be one of the biggest of their lives. But it may be just as meaningful, if not more, for Butler graduate Brandon Gaudin. Mark Minner has more on how this former Bulldog is having the time of his life.
Every broadcaster dreams of making the big call on the big stage, and Brandon Gaudin is no exception. The former Butler student is in his first season as the radio play-by-play voice for Butler basketball, and Gaudin knows how incredible it is to get to the Final Four in just his first season behind the mic with the Bulldogs.
Unbelievable. It's you say a dream come true, and that's cliche, but it absolutely is. I said I've wondered what it would be like to call an NCAA tournament game, and beyond that, it was just a dream to be able to think that I would one day call a Final Four game.
One man who knows that well is Joe Gentry, who was the radio broadcaster last season during the national championship run. Joe knows the feeling the week before the Final Four.
It truly was a blur for me, and a whirlwind, and just about the next game. It was funny, maybe a couple months after the national championship, watching the game on CBS College Sports or something, like, oh, we played in the national championship.
Now, this would be the first opportunity for Gaudin to call a Final Four game. But in 2005, when he was a student, a junior at Butler, he had a unique opportunity to attend the national championship.
CBS and Pontiac had a competition, nationwide competition, where any broadcaster could submit a clip of them calling one of the final plays that year in the NCAA tournament. And I picked a Kentucky-Michigan State Sweet 16 game, I believe, where Sparks hit a crazy game-winning shot.
We have one winner already here tonight in the Pontiac You Call the Action contest. Brandon Gaudin of Indianapolis had the winning call.
Picked off by Lutherhead. He finds Steve Brown, who kicks it to an open Darren Williams. Fires a three to tie. It's good. It is good. We are tied at 80. Somebody get me an oxygen tank.
If you would have told me that, 6 years later, that I would be calling a national title game, I would say the odds would have been against me. And to be doing that, what makes it so special is to be doing it at your alma mater.
For the Butler Beat, I'm Mark Minner.
The team we see on the floor is backed up by a different kind of team off the floor. Coach Brad Stevens and the assistant coaches are not the only people responsible for helping the Bulldogs get this far.
Trying to get this national title this weekend.
Compliments of St. Vincent, head athletic trainer Ryan Galloy, a team of physicians and one nutritionist monitor the Bulldogs' health on and off the court. Located in Hinkle Fieldhouse, the sports medicine staff specializes in injury prevention, assessment, treatment, and the rehabilitation of each player. In the training room, athletes have access to ice tubs, a taping room, and much more. The sports medicine staff travels with the team at all times and are even on standby during practice. On the road, Galloy's bag consists of padding, braces, ankle tape, and snacks, while the doctors carry all the IVs, stitches, and other prescribed medication. A nutritionist works with the coaching staff to develop a menu that will keep energy levels high and weight maintained year-round. Although they must stray away from fried foods and fattening desserts, the players often enjoy snacks like Power Bar Gel Baths and drink tons of Gatorade, especially during halftime. Galloy speaks more on what it takes to keep the team going throughout the season.
There's always a bunch of things that people don't realize that we have to do behind the scenes to get things ready. It's not just, hey, let's just go play, So I'm looking up, I already got the meals, looking at how to plan the meals and stuff like that. So it's more than just taping ankles and getting on the basketball court. So hopefully it all adds up to the result we want.
Let's hope our fellow Bulldogs remain healthy as they compete for the Final Four title.
One critical member of the team hasn't been able to travel with the squad until this weekend. Kyle Weir has more.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Blue. Happy birthday to you.
Two's owner Mike Kaltenmark knows just how important his dog is to Butler's campus.
Blue's been popular on campus for several years, and then we made the Final Four last year, and that popularity really grew. I mean, he really took off on a national level.
And national it was. Blue 2 was featured on tons of different news websites, including ESPN, TMZ, and many local affiliates here in Indianapolis.
like to, we have a live mascot, so we like to take advantage of that. And not every school has that. So I feel like the more we can do that, the more we separate ourselves from the competition.
And everywhere Blue goes, there are fans and followers waiting to show their support.
Live mascot, I know it's more exciting because at games people will go up and pet him and take pictures with him, and I know he just means a lot to everyone on campus.
You could follow Blue 2 on any of his internet pages, including his own Facebook account, his Twitter page, his own YouTube channel, his Flickr account, and you could even follow him on his Ustream, where you'll see his daily activities. But most people are just glad to see that Blue 2 is going to be back where he belongs, the NCAA Final Four.
Focus on Blue actually getting to go to the Final Four. I think people are really into that. Yeah, they are, aren't they, Blue?
Blue 2 took off for Houston, Texas early this morning. But for all you Butler fans out there, make sure you get onto the Butler website /Blue 2 and get your own Houston, Texas Blue 2 mask to show your support for those dogs. For the Butler Beat, I'm Kyle Weir.
Like Butler, Virginia Commonwealth wasn't expected to get this far. Matt Werner previews the Bulldogs' next opponent.
Butler is at it again. The Bulldogs are still dancing despite the numerous experts who said they wouldn't repeat their historic run from last year. After wins over Old Dominion, Pittsburgh, and Wisconsin, the Dogs faced Florida in an Elite Eight matchup. Butler lost to the Gators in the tourney in both 2000 and 2007, so history was not on their side. As the game went into overtime, the Bulldog bite was too much for the Gator chomp. Now the Dogs find themselves in the Final Four in back-to-back seasons.
The start of this year's tournament, everybody was trying to figure out who the next Butler would be. Despite the Bulldogs making a trip to the Final Four, it's going to be the VCU Rams, who they'll play in the first game on Saturday.
VCU stunned the nation when they upset Georgetown, Purdue, Florida State, and Kansas on their way to the Final Four. The team has been preparing for the game against the Rams of VCU and seeing some similarities.
Obviously, they're making the same kind of run that we did last year, and this year it's, really neither of us are expected to be here, but a lot of the things that I see is that they attack a lot, on offense and on defense. They don't sit back and kind of just like figure out how the other team's going to play, and I think that's part of the reason why both of our teams have been very successful.
A lot of speculation is being done as to what the Dogs must do to stop VCU on Saturday. Radio analyst Brandon Godden has his theory.
Where they could give Butler some trouble certainly is their perimeter shooting. Now, one thing Butler has done well, particularly during this winning streak, is guarding the perimeter. So it's going to be interesting to see who wins that battle, because VCU is going to put up a lot of three-point shots. And if they are hitting them like they have in this tournament, particularly against Kansas, it's going to be tough, nearly impossible for Butler to win if they're shooting at that clip.
The Dogs will tip off at 6:09 p.m. Saturday on CBS. If the Dogs beat VCU, they would play the winner of Kentucky and UConn. For the Butler Beat, I'm Matt Werner.
Butler students are taking the stage this Friday to provide some on-campus entertainment for those not making the journey to the Final Four. Bree Seaver has more on this story.
Springtime is here, and so is the time for the 87th annual Spring Sing competition. Spring Sing is a campus-wide event co-sponsored by two music fraternities on Butler's campus. All Greek houses and residence halls are placed into pairs to create and perform a mini musical. The theme for this year's Spring Sing is Butler Goes Wild. Spring Sing chairperson Emily Bax knows just how much work goes on behind the scenes.
I had to make a bunch of packets that went out to all the housing units explaining the rules and who their pairing is. I meet with the directors from each Greek house on 2 different meeting occasions where we talk about any questions they have, and I have to look over song lists. I have to watch a final run through, which we just had this past week, and I watch their dress rehearsals to make sure they're coming along and working on it, just keep them in check.
With the craze of the Final Four in full swing, the timing of Spring Sing is not exactly ideal for the Butler community. Spring Sing participant Margot Ulrich isn't surprised by the scheduling conflict.
Well, considering Butler is overprogrammed to begin with, I don't think many people are surprised that this is happening, but this was scheduled in January. So, I mean, it was on the calendar, but it is annoying that it is keeping me here until 9, 10 o'clock at night on Friday when I could be on a bus to Houston.
Although many students will be following the road to the Final Four, a number of students will be staying back at Butler to enjoy Butler's longest standing tradition. Doors open at 7 p.m. right here at Clues Memorial Hall. For the Butler Beat, I'm Bree Seaver. Thanks for joining us for this week's edition of the Butler Beat.
Tune in next week for more news and sports from the campus.